Now, there's too much proof that Master Fard Muhammad exists for anyone to doubt his existence. But we're going to cover a little bit of this history for those who may be new to Master Fard Muhammad. Well, after making his appearance among the black people of North America, particularly those living in Detroit during the 1930s, the early 1930s, Master Fard Muhammad personally taught the Honorable Elijah Muhammad from 1931 to 1934. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has made that clear throughout all of his teachings. Master Fard Muhammad departed in 1934, leaving the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with the mission of the resurrection of the black people of America specifically, but the original people of the Western Hemisphere in general. Now, in previous messages, we provided knowledge about Master Fard Muhammad's interaction with President Herbert Hoover during the early 1930s. There are also records of his involvement with government officials in Detroit and Chicago. Well, Master Fard Muhammad, of course, is perhaps the most mystic figure in the history of the lost found nation of Islam, because he was truly known only to one man from among us, that is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, who represented Master Fard Muhammad to the world as the supreme being, God in person. He taught us about Master Fard Muhammad. Well, generally the presence of the lost found nation of Islam, especially through the work of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Louis Farrakhan over this last 89 years, nearing 90 years combined, is proof that Master Fard Muhammad exists. This speaks to the cliche that we judge a tree by the fruit it bears. This is what Jesus impressed upon Philip, because he knew Philip was still bewildered by the concept of his oneness with the Father. So Jesus states, "Believe me that I am in the Father in me, or else believe me for the work's sake." Well, of course, if we do not know the messianic prophecies, then we will not know the works that the Messiah is expected to do when he appears in the last days, which was not 2,000 years ago. So ignorance regarding this reality, that is the messianic prophecies, is the greatest challenge today. People speak of the Messiah, but they don't know the messianic prophecies. They know, of course, what they were taught in church and elsewhere by the synagogue of Satan through the pastors and preachers that represent the synagogue of Satan. Well, this is why we're teaching this series on the messianic prophecies. Let me just clarify something for those who may get upset that I said that the preachers who preach Christianity represent the synagogue of Satan. Well, explore who taught you what you know about the Bible and whose schools you learned it from and whose forebears you got it from. Until the coming of Master Fard Muhammad, the only game in town was the synagogue of Satan. So the question of Master Fard Muhammad's existence is streamlined into questions regarding his whereabouts today and his ability to guide and instruct others from wherever he is. Of course, the Supreme Being can be wherever he wants to be. And because he is the Supreme Being, he can keep all other beings from knowing his exact whereabouts. In the Holy Quran, it states about Allah, "Vision comprehends him not, and he comprehends all vision, and he is the subtle, the aware." So just because the FBI, the CIA, and other so-called intelligence agencies, who are really staffed by dumb devils, cannot locate the person of Master Fard Muhammad, does not mean that he is not alive and present. His presence is felt and established throughout the universe, as indicated in the Quranic verses that we just read. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad states, "The mother plane in her work is a display of the power of the mightiest God, Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever, is the wisest and best knower. He is the mightiest of them all." Now, a little later in this message, we intend to touch on aspects of what makes Master Fard Muhammad the wisest of all. Well, the mother plane is called a UFO by the scientists of this world of the synagogue of Satan. And UFO means unidentified flying object, a term that applies to the extraterrestrial spacecraft or to extraterrestrial spacecraft. Extraterrestrial means occurring or existing beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Well, this term does in fact apply to the mother plane, although the mother plane was built right here on Earth, according to what we learned from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad described aspects of how Master Fard Muhammad built the mother plane. He states, "The present wheel-shaped plane known as the mother of planes is 1/2 mile of a half mile and is the largest mechanical man-made object in the sky. It is a small human planet made for the purpose of destroying the present world of the enemies of Allah. The cost to build such a plane is staggering. The finest brains were used to build it. It is capable of staying in outer space 6 to 12 months at a time without coming into the Earth's gravity. It carries 1,500 bombing planes with the most deadliest explosives, the type used to bring up mountains on the Earth." Well, if the person of Master Fard Muhammad is on the mother plane, then the U.S. government has no way of knowing it, since the mother plane is beyond the reach and comprehension of the governments of this world. So the power of Master Fard Muhammad as the supreme being and the incomprehensible nature of the mother plane settles the question of the whereabouts of Master Fard Muhammad. He's anywhere and he's everywhere.